What's up, guys? It's Bumpkins. Today is Wednesday, September 14th. Wednesday means New Comic Book Day. New Comic Book Day means New Comic Book Haul video. As always, I went down to Infinity Flux here in Chattanooga, Tennessee for another big old stack of books, but only one other extra goodie this time. A little light on the goodies. Real quick, guys, if you are on the Whatnot app and you're looking for a great seller who sells awesome stuff, be sure to check out Infinity Flux. They're at Infinity Flux Comics, all one word. They will be linked in the description below. They do 3 shows a week. They sell Silver Age, Bronze Age, modern books, action figures, and toys, and incentive covers, and just all kinds of things like that. So if you're looking for a great seller who sells great stuff on Whatnot, be sure to check them out. So let's take a look at the book, starting with Marvel, starting with Amazing Spider-Man number 9. So, you guys know I've been sort of lukewarm on this series, and I just flat out didn't really enjoy this issue that much. So this is, I guess it's a Hellfire Gala tie-in. Is that going on in the X books right now? I don't really know. But Spider-Man is on Krakoa at the Hellfire Gala, and I just didn't understand any of this, right? Because I'm not reading any X books, and I haven't read any X books in a really, really long time. I guess Moira McTaggart's a bad guy now? I don't know. But she somehow has control of Mary Jane, and Spider-Man and Wolverine team up to go save her. This was mostly a one-and-done issue, but I don't know. Just because I was so lost, I didn't really enjoy it. There is a nice sequence at the beginning where Spider-Man is talking to some of, I was going to say the X-Men, to some various mutants on Krakoa, and Spider-Man's kind of awkward around them, and some of these little conversations are funny. And then at the very, very end of the book, there is a conversation between Spidey and Mary Jane about their situation, and it's kind of interesting, but doesn't help answer any questions. Like, it doesn't really move anything forward, but at least we get to see them talking. I still just want to know what all that's about. My biggest problem with this book is that Spider-Man has existed for 60 years, and he is right now in the same situation as he was roughly 60 years ago. And I just, after 60 years, you think a character would evolve, and he did evolve. He had evolved until everything was undone, and now he's just in the same spot. So, really frustrated. I'm never not going to buy Spider-Man, but I didn't really like this one. One that I did like, though, is a Daredevil number 3, so I'm just continuing to love this series. Really, this should be Daredevil number, 45, right? Because it really shouldn't have ended, that last run from Zdarsky really shouldn't have ended at 36. It should have just, issues 37 through 42 or 43 should have been Devil's Reign, and then this new series should have been just after that, and it should be 40-something, because it's all so connected, it's all seamless, pretty much. I have no idea why this is a new series, but regardless, this one is really good. Daredevil is trying to get some help with his and Elektra's plan to form the Fist, which is the rival clan, I guess, to the Hand. They want to take the Hand out. He goes to see Cole, the detective from the last series. Cole, I can't remember his name exactly, but he goes to see him. He goes to see Luke Cage to get some help. After that sequence, we get a really cool sequence with Luke Cage confronting the Stromwinds and how they're just throwing their weight around and about how powerful they are. That was really cool. Just everything about this book is just phenomenal. I'm loving this story. The only bad thing is I just want more of it. I want the whole thing now because it's so good. But yeah, this is probably my number 1 favorite book from Marvel right now. Next up is Edge of Spider-Verse number 3. So you guys know I have been kind of lukewarm on these first couple issues as well, because I don't really know what the story is. What is the threat? And really all these issues have been are just short stories of other spider people from other universes, with a little bit of hint of something coming, I guess, thrown in. This issue was my favorite one, though, because it had a little bit. The beginning story was Spider-Man India, which was pretty interesting. Different artists doing that, which was fun. I guess sort of the main story is Night Spider, which I really liked. I really want to see more of her. I don't know if it's public knowledge who this is, so I'm not gonna say. But you may already know. If you've read it, you definitely know. But even if you haven't read it, if you pay attention to the solicitations, you might know. But I'm not gonna say just in case. But I really like her. I want to see more of her. And then Sakura Spider, which was the third story, really cool too. I want to see more of her. So this does make me excited for the Spider-Verse story to come in the new Adjectiveless Spider-Man, written by Dan Slott and with art by Mark Bagley, that I think comes out in October. I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I was kind of lukewarm on the first 2 issues, but I really like this one. And then last for Marvel is Iron Man number 23. I still haven't caught up on this series yet, so I didn't read this one, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep buying this as long as Alex Ross does these awesome A covers. I really want to catch up on this soon because I'm just craving some Iron Man, but I just haven't done it yet. As for DC, it was a pretty light DC week, only 3 books, but we've got Batman vs. Robin number 1, so this is spinning out of the pages of Robin and also World's Finest. And you get this in the book. You get literally Batman fighting Robin, and you do well. If you've been reading the other books, you can kind of assume and guess why they're fighting. But even if you don't know, it's clear why it's happening by the time you get to the end of the issue. So I won't say anything about that. There is also a very surprising appearance from another character in this book, which I find very well. I'm glad to see that character, and it also it also introduces a mystery. Like, why is this character in this book? What's the story behind that? So I'm sure we're going to get more of that as this mini-series goes along. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to think about this. It's like Batman versus Robin. Haven't we seen that before? And you guys know I'm sick of heroes versus heroes in my Marvel books. But this one has a little bit more depth to it, I think. So this is one I'm looking forward to reading more of. Next is Dark Crisis, Worlds Without a Justice League, Wonder Woman. So I had to look at the cover to see the title. I didn't really love this one so much. This is probably my least favorite of all the tie-ins that I've read so far. I just don't have I really, really like Wonder Woman. I just don't have that much of a connection with her. The story that we see in here, I don't really see how that was her ideal world. I didn't really know some of the characters that were in that story, so for me it was okay. It wasn't bad, but it just didn't knock my socks off. And then there's a backup story of Martian Manhunter, and I didn't really love that one either. So as far as tie-ins go for Dark Crisis, this was definitely my least favorite. And last for DC already is Superman, Son of Kal-El number 15. So this is the end of the well, shoot, I can't remember the name of the storyline, but you know, the story they've been telling for pretty much the whole series up to this point with John going up against Henry Bendix and him working with Luthor to create superpowered beings, basically, but that they could essentially remote control with their minds. And Jay Nakamura was there to help him out, and the two of them and the Revolutionaries, you know, were attacking Bendix's base. Just all that stuff. This is the finale to all that, and it was pretty good. I really like this. I won't spoil what happens, but it all shakes out the way you might think. But there's some cool moments in here too. But I'm just really excited for at the bottom of the last page. It said, you know, next issue Kal-El returns, and we know that the War World storyline is over now. We know that Clark, Kal-El, Superman is returning back to Earth. We know that they're gearing up Action Comics for his return as well. So I'm just really excited for that because we haven't seen Clark, Kal-El, and John interact in a really long time. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. But this was a satisfying ending to this story they've been telling. And yeah, I can't wait for the next issue. So most of my stack this week is actually Image books, and we're going to take a look at those. The first one, though, so this is The Last Shadowhawk 3D. So when I pre-ordered this, I don't even think The Last Shadowhawk had come out yet. And when I made the video, whatever week that was, that The Last Shadowhawk came out, I hadn't read that issue when I made the video, but I have since read that issue, and I didn't really like it. Like I thought it was a confusing story. It was a weird story to tell for being the last Shadowhawk story. Like, it didn't really make any sense, and I was just thinking, what a weird way to end Shadowhawk. So this is that book that I didn't really enjoy, but the 3D version. So if I had read it before I pre-ordered this, I probably wouldn't have pre-ordered it. I haven't opened it. I haven't looked at it. I don't know if I'm going to, because again, I don't really like the book. But at least it's got this cool Youngblood homage cover. So next up from Image is a new one called The Least We Can Do. So this is a post-apocalyptic tale. Like, it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, but it does kind of feel like a fantasy book as well. So there was this great war, and after this war, it sort of reset the Earth, and humanity had to work to rebuild the planet. There are these items called medium that essentially give whoever is wielding, they're like little gems. Think of them almost as like the Infinity Gems. Like, that's kind of what they look like, and I don't want to make that comparison, but it's kind of what they look like. So for a visual reference, just think about these little gems, and whoever's holding these gems basically gets abilities, right? But I don't, and that's all I can tell you though. Like, I don't know what the story is, because this issue, the whole issue is just spent setting up the world, introducing you to the characters, the concept of the medium, and that kind of thing. I don't know what the plot is. So this one was fine. I think I'll probably wait for a trade paperback, because I think it's going to be better read altogether. Because again, this didn't really explain what the overall story is going to be. I think it's going to be one of those ones where you just have to keep reading and eventually it all makes sense. And for those kind of stories, I would rather read those in a trade paperback. Next is King Spawn number 14. I haven't read any Spawn yet. This is going to go in the Spawn stack, and I'll catch up eventually. So this one is one of the most interesting ones from Image right now, in my opinion anyway. This is Love Everlasting number 2. So the last issue featured a girl named Joan, and she was... It was almost like an anthology book where there are 3 or 4 short stories about a woman named Joan who fell in love with a different man in a different time period, in a different setting, all that kind of stuff. But the interesting thing is, Joan was the same woman. And there were little references to, wait a minute, why am I here? Where's the last guy? And it was a big mystery, right? Well, this one's not quite like that. This one is just all one story, all one setting, just the one guy, all one time period. And it starts out as your typical, romance. Oh, we grew up together, but he comes from money and I come from peasants, and I'm a maid and he's the lord, and, I clean his castle, but yet we're in love, and, we have to sneak off to express our love, that kind of thing. So it's a typical, almost like Romeo and Juliet kind of thing at first. But then at the end, it sort of flips on its ear and you realize that there's more to it. And we aren't really supposed to know what's going on, so we still don't know what's going on yet. But man, I really want to know, because it's so interesting and intriguing. So this issue had some strangeness like the last one, but it just wasn't individual shorter stories. I just feel like these first couple issues kind of remind me of the first couple issues of WandaVision, where on the surface they seem just very, very innocent and just happy and fun stories, but then at the end there's like a little inkling of something much more mysterious. And yeah, I'm going to keep going with this one because I really want to find out what's going on. And then last from Image is the Silver Coin number 14. So you guys know I love this series. It's had its ups and downs. There was a few issues that I didn't love. I think the last issue I didn't really love. As I was reading this, I just wasn't loving it. Like, it was bizarre. The coin wasn't in it. After I was about halfway through, I was trying to think, okay, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking about what to say in this video. To say, well, here's another one that I don't really enjoy, until you get to the last 3 pages, and then it all makes sense, and it's all really crazy and creepy, and there's the coin, and you see what's going on. So if you can get through that, it's a really solid issue. And what's interesting too is this issue takes, like, it time jumps, right? So it opens with what's going on right now, but then it flashes back to like a year ago, but it uses real world stuff. So it talks about the pandemic and social distancing and masks. It's not political, don't worry about that. It's just it's using that setting to establish who these characters are. But also what it does, but then it flashes back to present day, but then it jumps back like the year before. So I guess like, earlier in 2020, and then it jumps back even further to 2019. So when it's doing the flashbacks plural, it's actually doing the flashbacks in reverse order, but then it jumps back to what's going on in present day. It's weird but fun, and again, it's not like preachy or anything, because I know a lot of people don't like that, but it's just using real world events to establish these characters, and then it flashes forward to show you the crazy things going on with those characters. So this one was good. Silver Coin, for the most part, continues to really impress. And then the last of the new issues this week from Vault, this is Mindset number 3. So this one's still really interesting too. So the guys that stumbled upon the frequency that basically can control people's minds for a time, they graduate college, they start building their app, they work that frequency into the app and try to figure out how to use it. Basically the idea is they create a meditation app, but they build that signal into it to hypnotically suggest to people to break free from social media and things like that. And the quote-unquote mind control, it's not permanent, it only lasts for a little while. But the app is a big hit. And then, there's an attempt by a large corporation to buy them out, and they don't really want to do that. And then it sort of snowballs from there, and it's getting really interesting and a little bit dark too. So yeah, this is just a really good series from Vault. I try not to buy too many miniseries, but this one is one that I definitely am going to keep going month to month. I picked up a few back issues as well, which is something I haven't done in a while. So in the dollar bins, I got True Believers, Fantastic Four, the first appearance of Dragon Man, basically. I don't quite remember which issue of Fantastic Four this is. But it was in the dollar bin. You guys know that I love the True Believers books, so I just wanted to get it. The next one, also in the dollar bin, I don't have any of these. This is ROM Space Knight number 5. You guys know that I love finding comics that are not collected, or if they are, it's way out of print, and are not available digitally either. So I just found this one. I was like, yeah, I'll definitely get that. ROM Space Knight. I've never read any ROM books before. This one actually guest stars Doctor Strange, which is kind of weird. So yeah, never read any, but this is one of those books where if you want to read it, this is the only way you can do it. So for $1, thought I'd try it out. And then last isn't really a comic, but I get these anytime I see them for a good price. This is Wizard Magazine number 12. I like to buy these because I used to have every single one of these issues, beginning with issue 5 all the way to the end. And one day several years ago, I foolishly threw most of them in the recycling bin, and I don't know why I did that. I did find a stack that I had missed, so thankfully I do have a stack of Wizards, but nowhere near the ones I used to have. I know looking back now, we can see that Wizard wasn't necessarily the greatest thing ever, but it's a fun nostalgia trip, and for $1, I thought I would grab this. This is, you know, talking about Wildcats, I guess, or there's an interview with Jim Lee, there's an action figure price guide, whatever, and you know, the Batman cartoon reviewed, and you know, cool Wildcats cover. So yeah, for $1, I definitely wanted to get this. And then I picked up just a couple of non-$1 back issues as well. I picked up the Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 12. This, I believe this reprints a couple issues where he fights the Hulk. It's got this really nice John Byrne cover though, so I thought that was really cool. Plus, you know, you guys know I'm trying to collect Amazing Spider-Man, including the annuals. I didn't have this one, so I picked this one up. And then the last one, Sensational She-Hulk number 13. That seems random, right? This is another one of those books. So this is not done by John Byrne, so it's not included in the Sensational She-Hulk Omnibus by John Byrne, so it's not in there. And this one is not available digitally either. It's not on Marvel Unlimited for whatever reason, which means it's probably not on Comixology. I didn't check. But this is another one of those books where it's not collected, it's not digital. The only way you can read it is to get it. So, and they had some more like this, because not all the issues of this run are available digitally. So I think I might get maybe one at a time or so as I go back in. So you may see some more random issues of Sensational She-Hulk on my videos in the future. But the fun doesn't stop there. I got one extra goodie as well. It's Seven to Eternity, the complete series. I'm pretty sure it's the complete series. It's a nice big hardcover. Collects issues 1 through 17. I have only read just a few issues, or maybe just a couple issues of Seven to Eternity, and just thought it was really cool. The artwork's really great. I'm a Rick Remender fan, but I don't really know a lot about it though. And if you guys know, I love getting a book that collects a complete story. You can get one book, or you can get a whole story all in one book. So I've always wanted to check the series out, and this is the best way to do it. And that's it, guys. Another really good haul, really fun week. Guys, I appreciate you watching. If you like this video or any of the other videos on my channel, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a sarcastic thumbs up. And if nothing else, leave me a comment and let me know what you picked up this week. If you got any back issues, did you pick up this Seven to Eternity hardcover? Whatever you got, just let me know. I love comic books. I could talk about them with a room full of people or just a camera. Guys, don't forget, comic books are supposed to be fun. They are just fun stories, fun art. The vast majority of them are fictional. It's all made up. In the grand scheme of things, none of it really matters. There is such a wide variety of comics out there that it's so easy to just look through them, find something that interests you, and it's also easy to simply disregard the things that don't interest you and let everybody else enjoy those books. Also, don't forget that it does not matter how much you buy each week or each month. What makes a great comic book haul is that the books that you do get are really special to you, really matter to you, really make you want to sit down and read comic books, whether it's 1 book, 10 books, 100 books. It does not matter how much you buy, just as long as whatever you do buy is special to you. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.